Senator Gyang.
Which colleagues, I remain Senator I.D. Gyang. I represent Plateau North. Mr. President, I have a matter of urgent public importance which has to do with the killing of students of Plateau State origin by Boko Haram and the...
Senator Albert Bassi, please allow Senator Apiafi to work. Yes, go ahead, distinguished.
The killing was laced with hate prejudice that is a ploy to polarize Nigerian citizens along ethno-religious divides. I therefore feel very strong that we bring it to the attention of the nation through the Senate by raising this under Order 42 and 52. And because it has been cited many times on the floor of the Senate, I'd want the Senate to take it as read and to grant permission for this motion to be taken.
Okay. Distinguished colleagues, those in favor that we allow our colleague Senator I.D. Gyang to present his motion under 42 and 52 say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. Present the motion.
Thank you, Mr. President and colleagues, for this opportunity to bring to the attention of the nation a development that has arisen concerning the abduction and killing of Plateau citizens by the Boko Haram.
It's not different.
The Senate notes that a new trend is emerging in the Boko Haram terrorism in Nigeria, where Nigerian citizens of Plateau State origin are targeted for abduction and isolated for brutal killing only because of their faith, origin, and aboriginal status. The cases under reference are Mr. Lawrence Duna Dachigir, an aid worker that was killed in 2019, the end of 2019, December. Mr. Godfrey Ali Shugagam, an aid worker also killed. The recent one is a 200-level student of the University of Maiduguri, Mr. Rodfield Dachia Dapel. There is also Jennifer Okombon Samuel, a health worker that had the fortune of being released recently. There is Lillian Gyang, a student of University of Maiduguri, abducted while returning to resume her studies, but is still under Boko Haram captivity. There is also our brother Malam Abdul Hamid Bashir, who is still under captivity in Boko Haram enclave. Also notes that the consequential effects of this defective narrative has led to the abduction of over 6 persons, 4 male and 2 female, as I've listed above. The 3 boys, including an undergraduate of the University of Maiduguri, like I've said, brutally murdered by Boko Haram at close-range shots, and videos of the killings, which were laced with hate messages, have gone viral, evoking passions and condemnation, not only in Plateau State, but across the nation and even globally. Concern that this hate narrative is reminiscent to the Nazi episode, where the Nazi supremacist regime promoted the demonization of Jews and incited anti-Semitism as a justification for subsequent gas chamber genocide against the Jews. The hateful narrative being orchestrated by Boko Haram is intended to set other Nigerian citizens against their Plateau brothers and sisters. Further concern that the anti-Plateau narrative by Boko Haram is an attempt by the fanatical sect to whip up ethnic sentiments of unsuspecting Nigerians and to shift attention from its evil acts that has not spared Muslims and other Nigerian citizens of all classes and creeds, from the north to south, east to west. Indeed, neither traditional rulers nor ordinary citizens, imams or pastors, are spared by the terror and scourge of Boko Haram. The narrative is simply a ploy to polarize citizens, like I've said, along ethno-religious sentiments and divides. Aware that the anti-Plateau Boko Haram narrative draws attention to the early days of banditry, which was obviously perceived as a Plateau problem, hence not giving desired attention, deserving a national emergency. The subsequent calamitous snowballing of banditry that has today become a monster, ravaging the entire north-central, northwest geopolitical regions and with devastating consequences. To allow and isolate the anti-Plateau narrative of Boko Haram is to ignore the lessons that history has tabled before us, and in so doing risk its spread with any other state as the next possible victim. It is unfortunate that while we were witnessing the return of peace in Plateau State, suddenly this week we are again being visited with another round of violence. Communities in Boko's local government, Quarters, Ruboy, and Marish became victims of massive attacks, resulting in 27 deaths as of today. Distinguished colleagues, further aware that the nation and indeed Nigerian citizens of Plateau origin are today looking up to this Senate to not only show concern, but raise a strong voice in condemning the terror unleashed against them by Boko Haram and the bandits as we are witnessing these few days. And therefore resolves, 1, to condemn in the strongest terms the anti-Plateau hate narrative by Boko Haram, whose ultimate intention is to polarize Nigerian citizens along ethno-religious divides. 2, condemn the abduction and killing of Nigerian citizens of Plateau State origin still in Boko Haram enclave, 3 of whom were killed and 3 others are still being held captive. 3, urge government to take additional steps to secure citizens, and in particular those of Plateau origin who have become targets of abduction and persecution by Boko Haram. Lastly, urge the authorities of ABU Zaria, University of Jos, and Tafawa Balewa University Bauchi to absorb the stranded undergraduate and postgraduate students of Plateau State origin currently stranded at Maiduguri, as their safety is gravely jeopardized by the hate narrative orchestrated by Boko Haram. Thank you, dear colleagues. I'm hoping that you will support this motion to give some hope to the people of Plateau State and Nigerian citizens that have been targeted by Boko Haram for elimination. Thank you very much.